I've been playing Palia ever since its closed beta launch, so with the game now released on Nintendo Switch, I'm here to give you some of the best tips and tricks to start off with on your new adventure. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Sunstone, and today I will be sharing 50 tips and tricks to guide you and get you started with Palia. These tips should help you navigate this new and exciting experience, so without any further ado, let's get right into it. First up, let's start with how you even go about playing Palia, just in case you're brand new to the game. Palia is currently available for free on PC via their native launcher and the Epic Games Store, but will also be coming to Steam in 2024. Of course, the game is now also available on the Nintendo Switch, but no matter how you choose to play, you will need to create an account on the official Palia website or from the game's login screen on the Nintendo Switch. Your account information is what you will use to log in and play Palia once you load up the game, and if you're playing on the Nintendo Switch and would like the exclusive rewards, make sure to link your account at the very first prompt. Now that you have everything set up and are actually ready to play, let's talk character customization. Of course, I always recommend taking your time with creating your character in any game and enjoying the process, but the good news is that now in Palia, everything can be changed later on, except for your name. One very important distinction to make while you're in that initial character customization menu is the difference between your character's full name and nickname. The name you choose for your full name will be how you appear online to others, on servers, and in friends lists. So this is the username you will give to others if you'd like them to add you as a friend. Your character's nickname, on the other hand, is what villagers around Palia will call you. So while there may be more limited options for your full name depending what other players have already picked, you can set your nickname to whatever name you'd like. For example, my nickname is just Sarah. So once you've created your character, if you'd like to change certain features later on, there are multiple ways to do this. The first is via interacting with the wardrobe item that you will be able to craft and place at your home. Here you can change your hair and eyebrows, facial hair, clothing, glider skins, and makeup. The second method is at Gel's clothing shop in Kilima Village. Here you can change your outfit whenever you'd like, but you can also change character features including your face shape, skin tone, eyes, voice, and body shape when interacting with the mirror. Please note that there is a cooldown lasting for 1 week of real-world time for changing these aspects of your character, because the team wants you to have a connection with how your avatar looks and for your friends to recognize you. Speaking of time, how does it operate in Palia? Well, there's an in-game 24-hour clock that is displayed in the upper right corner of the screen, where one in-game day is equivalent to 1 hour of real-life time. This is linked to the server and moves constantly whether or not you're actively playing the game. This means that when you log off for the day, if you leave items in your machines to process, they will keep processing. While the server time passes at a fairly swift pace, there are no set days or seasons, so no spring day 7 or fall day 19. You could play through 20 in-game days and there will be no consequence of that time passing you by. You won't miss any festivals or seasonal events. These are tied to real-world time and updates pushed from the team. As you explore Palia, you will learn what aspects of the game are tied to the in-game versus real-world clock, and I'll talk about this more later in this video and in future videos to come. So before you start doing anything in Palia, one of the most important things to be aware of is that basically everything is tied to the 8 different skills incorporated into your gameplay. These skills are fishing, cooking, gardening, mining, hunting, bug catching, foraging, and furniture making. You will be introduced to each one of the skills as you progress gameplay, and while you might have your favorites, I would highly recommend working towards leveling up all skills because you will unlock a ton of useful items, blueprints, and other perks from doing so that will help you out in so many realms of the game, not just for that specific skill. As I said, the game does a really good job of introducing you to each of these skills, but I will be creating dedicated videos for each to help you out past the introductions, so be sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications if you'd like to stay in the loop. One tip I have that applies to every single skill you will engage with is to keep an eye on your player's focus. The focus bar is found in the upper left corner on your screen, and while there is no stamina in this game, keeping your focus bar full while you complete skill-based activities is critical for leveling up those skills faster. You fill your focus bar by eating anything from forageables to cooked dishes, but you can also increase the skill bonus you get from eating and the maximum capacity for your focus bar by spending Renown. You can earn renown from completing quests and accomplishments, raising friendship with villagers, filling player requests, and ironically leveling up skills. The renown currency caps at 1,000, so please don't make the mistake that I did and find yourself unknowingly reaching that cap and losing out on additional renown points. The first way to spend your renown is at the Phoenix Shrine. This is found here on the Kilima map, and interacting with the shrine will exchange your renown for an increased bonus to your focus. For example, I currently receive an 81% bonus to the experience earned whenever I carry out a skill-based action, as long as I have enough focus available. You should notice your focus bar emptying quicker the more you upgrade this, since it's using up more focus to give you a higher bonus. The second way to spend renown is at the Dragon Shrine, which is found here on the Kilima map. Interacting with the shrine here will exchange your renown for an increased total maximum focus. This upgrade will allow you to consume more food at a time, along with higher focused foods, and not waste any extra focus points. For example, my focus bar can currently hold up to 650 points worth of food, so I wouldn't eat this celebration cake, for example, until I further upgraded my maximum focus amount. Otherwise, I would waste extra focus. So just to reiterate, and if any of that was confusing, all you need to know is to make sure your focus bar is full at all times and that you're actively spending earned renown on the 2 upgrades I suggested if you'd like to see your skills level up quicker. Another helpful tip that applies to almost all skills is the fact that your tools can actually downgrade once you've upgraded them past their base variant. You can monitor how close your tool is to downgrading by checking the yellow ring surrounding the tool icon. If a tool is getting close to downgrading, be sure to repair it. I try to make this a part of my daily routine, so I never find myself having to recraft a higher level tool, because I have accidentally downgraded one of my Palium tools before when I got carried away hunting, so be mindful of this. Don't make the same mistake I did. You can repair your tools either with your own repair station using craftable repair kits, but I personally repair them in the village at the blacksmiths in exchange for some gold, and I would suggest doing it this way. When you're out leveling up your skills, collecting resources, you might find that you're constantly running out of space in your bag, which is why it is very important to prioritize upgrading your backpack. The upgrades are available for purchase at Zeki's General Store to the left of the main counter, and I would highly recommend saving up your money as early as you can for this, since you will only start off with 2 rows of space. The first upgrade costs 500 gold, will unlock an additional row of storage for you, and it is so worth it since you will be able to make more money with more pocket space. You will also have home storage once you start crafting chests, which can be upgraded over time for more storage space. As you craft additional chests for your plot, you will unlock more and more inventory space, but it's important to note that you can't exceed more than 8 chests worth of storage, so don't bother crafting any additional chests beyond this number. Also, all of your chests connect together to access a global inventory, so you can place them wherever you'd like and access everything through every chest. It is super convenient. A special note here is that furniture doesn't take up any storage space, so don't worry about crafting too much. While you can earn money through various means, like quests for example, selling goods will be your primary source of income. You will have a handy shipping box available right out front of your home plot, so anything you sell here will be processed at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. every day on the in-game clock. If you're out in town with full pockets or in a pinch for gold, you can also sell items at Zeki's General Store and certain items at the various guild shops right away. These guild shops are found for each of the skills when interacting with the villagers who are in charge of them. But what even should you sell? Well, I would recommend keeping a stack of every material, but when you're comfortable with your supply, feel free to sell extras. I would suggest selling all hunting materials once you have a decent supply of meat for cooking and animal pelts for crafting. Forageables also go for really good money, but will be needed for some quests and craftables, so keep some if you'd like and then sell the rest. The good thing with forageables is that any of the common ones can be easily found whenever you need them, but definitely hold on to Dari cloves, heat root, and heart drop lilies in early game if you manage to find any at all. You can also find starstones when mining, which are Palia's version of crystals. These are quite valuable, and right now their only purpose outside of selling is to be gifted to villagers, so you could keep one of each if you'd like to be safe and then sell the rest. If you mine a lot, you will also find yourself with a surplus of flint. Again, keep some, sell the rest. Finally, for my early recommendations, you can sell most bugs and fish, but I would personally keep any star quality variants you find and make sure you don't sell any that are needed for bundles that you will be introduced to as you progress various quests. While these are all categories of items you can sell, what really is the best way to make money? Well, in early game, I would recommend hunting, mining for starstones, and fishing for money. A little bonus tip here is that you can actually fish from the pond right on your home plot for ultimate convenience. And also be sure to get started early on gardening, because this will become an increasingly integral money-making component as you progress your gameplay. Now, as you explore and complete quests, you might start to realize that you can't seem to find certain required resources, like some of the forageables I mentioned earlier. Well, that's because there are actually 2 entire maps to explore, with different resources available on each map. It's not just Kilima, there's also Bahari Bay, which can be accessed via this exit point from Kilima on foot. In terms of resources, most notably, you will find sapwood, copper, and clay in Kilima, but will need to visit Bahari Bay to collect heartwood, iron, and pallium. There are also different forageables, critters, and starstones available within each map. So for example, you'll find shells on the beach in Bahari, but spice sprouts by the mirror ponds in Kilima. As you play more and more of the game, you'll become familiar with which areas spawn which resources, and you'll know where to look for what you need. And on that note, I suggest not letting yourself get too overwhelmed with needing to know everything right from the beginning. Just take time to explore, learn things little by little, discover everything organically, and of course, stop to smell all the roses. Now, the 2 maps are huge, and it can take a long time to travel around them. Luckily, there are fast travel mechanics available, but they do come at a slight cost. In early game, I wouldn't necessarily recommend using these too much since your money is quite precious. Plus, you'll discover a lot just from roaming around. But in later game, it is super worth it to pay the fee on occasion for travel, especially from Kilima to Bahari Bay and around Bahari Bay itself. The map is super expansive. And I mean, time is money, so it's really up to you at the end of the day how you want to spend your gold. There is one free fast travel available to go back home that can be found when you open your map. It's located here on the top right corner, but plan ahead for using this because it has a 30-minute cooldown of real life time. The glider is another great tool for traversing the expansive maps, but you actually won't start off with it right away. To unlock the glider, you will have to complete the quest Like a Bird with Najuma. For this quest, you will need sapwood planks, fabric, and leather. The sapwood planks are easy to acquire. You can collect sapwood from chopping down the trees on your plot or around Kilima before processing them into planks. The leather and fabric, on the other hand, might be a bit more of a challenge to acquire in early game, as you will need to level up furniture making to level 2, grow cotton, and hunt several creatures before processing materials with the fabric loom to create fabric and leather. If you just want to cut to the chase, you can actually purchase the leather and fabric from the cash register at the furniture shop if you have the gold to spare. You'll notice the more you play that there are often multiple ways to approach the same quest. While all the adventuring is exciting, I'm sure you'd just as much like to get decorating and start creating your new cozy space in Palia. Despite the Kilima and Bahari maps being shared with other players, your home plot is instanced, meaning you have a space all to yourself. You can set your privacy settings by pressing H on your keyboard when on your home plot and selecting the gear at the top of your screen. From here, you can choose whether you'd like your home to be open to friends and party members who can visit when you're home, or closed so that only NPCs may visit. I think it's also important to note that players can't take any of your items when they do visit, and they can only move things around that you've already placed if you give them editing permissions. From the H menu, you can also decorate from a bird's eye view, which is useful for moving around larger objects, but most notably for rearranging different housing pieces and adjusting their doorways and windows. I actually have an entire video with some design tips and tricks, which I'll link in the description of this video for your reference. But when you're starting out, the most important thing is to start building your first house as soon as you're given the quest to do so, because it takes real life time to complete the builds. You can continue to expand your home and plot size all at the City Hall in Kilima, so be sure to pay this building a visit for more than just a trip to Charm Kenyatta. Speaking of the lovely villagers, here are some quick tips for how to get to know them better. First, you can talk to each character once per in-game day to boost friendship, or kick it up a notch and give them a gift once per real-life day. Villagers will also have weekly want items that reset once per real-life week, and you can learn about these by clicking the little button down here on the bottom left corner of the conversation UI. The weekly want items will give you a bigger boost in friendship than any simple gift. Like I recommend with many games, even even if you don't think you're interested in certain characters, I would highly suggest chatting with everyone, because villagers will offer useful quests and lore to uncover. Additionally, some characters will actually tell you other characters' weekly wanted items, so you can really only benefit. If that wasn't enough to sell you on it, every character, including Tao, has a unique item to unlock once you reach level 4 friendship with them. So if all of these perks aren't incentive enough to chat with everyone, I don't know what would be. There is also romance along with friendship in the game, but it's not mandatory by any means. You can see who's eligible for romance based on whether they have a heart shown when interacting with their dialogue. In order to unlock a villager's romance questline, you'll need to reach level 3 friendship with them first. And as you roam around in Palia trying to win over all the villagers, be sure to keep your eyes peeled for hidden treasure chests throughout the world. Some are more obvious to find than others, but they hold a variety of useful and valuable items to uncover. There are also hidden recipes to find from torn scattered pages, and also within readable books. Once you find these recipes, you will actually be able to cook them yourself in your kitchen, so keep your eyes peeled and don't skip out on taking a little reading break. One really easy way to have a chance to get brand new items is by purchasing at least one thing from Zeki's general store every real world day. If you make any purchase, Zeki will send you a lucky coin in your mailbox at 6 a.m. the following in-game morning, which can be traded in for a lucky ball from his wondrous machine. Sure, sometimes you'll just get seeds or bug bombs, which honestly are actually very useful in early game, but you can also get exclusive furniture items, plushies, and more. Despite certain things being rare in the game, it's important to know that all resources, when collected together, are shared. So do your best to let others take a hit of whatever you're collecting if you see someone running up to try and share the hitting of a rock or the chopping of a tree. It will not take away from the resources you claim for yourself, and in fact will actually help you preserve your tools for even longer. It's really a win-win. I'd also like to share a few settings and features that could be easy to miss if you don't know where to look. First is an adjustable sprint setting, which you can set to toggle, hold, or tap. I personally go with toggle, so I can just press shift once when I want to change from sprinting to jogging and not have to actively tap or hold down any buttons, but this is up to personal preference. You can also adjust the cast speed of your fishing rod quite precisely here with the slider, so you can choose the best fit for you, especially for trying to hit those bubble spots, which you want to aim for. There is also an in-game camera feature, which can be accessed by pressing K on your keyboard to capture all sorts of memories and moments on your own or with friends. It's super important, however, to actually go in and save the photos you took, like so, before exiting the game, otherwise you will lose them. Finally, my biggest and most important tip of all is to focus on enjoying your experience with Palia, however that looks for you. Play at your own pace and try not to compare yourself to other players. We all have our unique journeys within our gameplay, and each and every experience is special. Take your time, do what you enjoy, appreciate the little things, and just have fun. There is no right or wrong way to play this game. The tips I offer are simply suggestions. Well, there you have it, friends. Those were 50 tips and tricks for getting started on your adventures in Palia. Please let me know down in the comments if any of these tips helped you out, and let me know how you're liking Palia. Anything and everything, you know I always love hearing from you. Please give the video a like if you found it useful, and with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and until next time, take care. And a very special thanks to Paul, Meredith, Janelle, Teresa, Ember, Formodus, Tansy, Becca, Anime Lover, Jack, Janes, Cisco, Phoebe, Dragonfae, Blossom, Sunshine, It's Me, Andrea, Eurasia, Nazashka, Salvador, Daniel, Cheese, Kayla, Wolf, Zaries, Lawrence, Fabiola, Kicknell, Alyssa, Laura's, Arnica, Grey Ghost, Valley Wolf, Danny, Mel, and Kelly, my beautiful Gemstone members. I love you all very much, and thank you so much for the extra support on the channel, which really helps to make all that I do possible and means the world to me.